this is the combination of things going on here is hysterical. So let's jump into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to some Age of Empires. Tonight we're gonna be going over. Dadgummit, I do this every single time, man. God. H. I know, dude. I was watching your game on this map, or your cast on this map, and I was like, what's going on? I have no interest in playing this map, by the way. If I get matched against someone with this map, I might just GG to begin with, because this looks like chaos. Okay, there we go. Group H. All right, let's try that again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to some Age of Empires. Tonight, we're going to be looking at Group H. This is round 1. You know what? I don't actually know what the round is, but I'll put it in the thumbnail. So we're going to be looking at some of the group games from Group H between Nutty, here in the yellow, playing as the Armenians, and Forteraiger, here in the blue, playing as the Armenians. Yeah, okay, so double Armenians on Mangrove Jungle. This map blows my mind. I was watching X cast this the other night. Maybe that was last night. The nights are running together. And when I saw it, I was like, no, I don't want to. I have no interest in this. I don't want to play this map. Anybody who I'm playing against on this map better not have, or in this tournament, better not have this picked, because what am I looking at here? This is super strange. Okay, so it is floored. Did you actually say that? Did you say you'd like Armenians here? I didn't hear that in your cast. Oh my gosh. Okay, so they're both playing Armenians. No need to introduce them both in that way. We're just gonna read through this as we go through the early game, and then we're gonna take a look at the map. So, Armenians, infantry and naval. They have discounted mule carts. Their mule carts, their economy upgrades are a little bit more effective. They get fortified churches. The first one they make gets a free relic. The barracks units get their upgrades early, so you get longswordsmen in Castle Age, for example, and well, actually, longswordsmen in Feudal Age, and then two-handed swordsman and champion in Castle Age. And that's pretty self-explanatory. And then the galley line in Dromons, which is basically like a water Mongol. Sorry, I'm a water Mongol. Oh no. Well, what's a water Mongol? A water mangonel. Mangonel on a boat, essentially. Fire an additional projectile. So really good boats. Really good ships, I should say. They get the composite bowman. And they get range and some other stuff. The point is, they get good. They have good naval. X saying, I think it was Dravidians versus Georgians, and oh yeah, no, you're right. It totally was. See, you slightly prefer Armenians to Dravidians for the strategy. Yeah, I think you're right. Honestly, I think the Draman is a pretty insane unit for this map. But what's really unique here is they just walk across. Okay, I was about to make an idiot out of myself. I was gonna say you can walk on the mangrove like a floor over here, but not on the actual ocean. But I guess this is all shallow. We're about to see. Hold on, I gotta see this. This is 100% all shallow. Like, cause I totally missed that when I was watching your cast, X. They're not gonna. Wow. Sure enough. Okay, so it's all shallow. So it's not a water-only map. This is basically Amazon tunnel. Like tight Amazon tunnel. Except instead of the floor is lava, it's the floor is water. So you can walk infantry, cav, you can walk units across this as well as ships. And then you have this crazy forest with gold and stone like inside little pockets in the forest. It's like the forest has pimples that are all popped, and inside the that's super gross. Never mind. Um, yeah, okay, that was I don't know why I went there. Um, super crazy map though. This is absolutely wild. I have no clue really, but I think in early ages you could kill ships with infantry. Oh gosh. And Armenians get great early infantry. Yeah, that's a great point. You know, I'm wondering if they both do the same thing, or maybe one of them goes for the infantry because it's super strong and just walks it across the entire river, you know? Because, like, massing up galleys might take a little longer. You know, maybe you want to mass them up in Castle Age, but then in Feudal, you can get those longswordsmen, and, like, one of them could walk across way quicker than the other. That could be really interesting. Oh, you know what? Real quick, I forgot to change this as well. Let's go 150. See how that. I think that's a little bit better. Maybe 155. I just realized on my stream that the uh, letters here are a little bit cut off by the chat box down there. Conventional wisdom, but mass galleys is easier so they don't cost food. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I guess all I was saying was like you might be waiting for Castle Age. You know, you might be playing a little bit more turtle if you're trying to mass galleys. But then if your opponent's like, okay, you know what? He might, or for on an example, what am I saying? For example, he might scout it, right? So if Nutty sees that Forteraiger's going for a dock and he sees a galley, he might be like, ooh, I'm gonna try longswords in the feudal age. And I'm just gonna shut up now because yeah, docks for both and galleys for both. So it doesn't matter. They're both gonna go for the benefit from that, which does apply immediately. It's just a base. It's just a base upgrade. So that's going to that's gonna fly for them immediately. But is that six damage on the first one and then 1 damage on the second? Do you know what the actual number is on that? I think that is. So they were doing 5, and the scout has 2 armor, and the galley deals 6. So I think the second projectile, the second arrow it fires, deals 1. So that would be 7 total on a scout that has 5 armor. And the math makes no sense. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. Chemistry, I think, does. So yeah, wow, okay, yeah, chemistry is gonna be crazy in late game. I mean, wow, Armenian galleys they're nutty. They're nutty. They're super strong. This is just such a crazy map. Okay, blacksmith now for Forteraiger. Let's check real quick. And Nutty does have one, but he has not picked up fletching yet. Now he's going for fletching. We can expect fletching now for Forteraiger. Cool. Okay, so both going for fletching, both going for consistent galley production. So really, it's just gonna mass up, and okay, Nutty actually 5 villagers ahead. Why is that? That's why. 1 minute of idle TC time from Forteraiger. When we come back to the idle TC time, we could talk about this all day and all night. You gotta keep up your idle TC time. But, I mean, at this point in the game, 5 villager difference, it's not really gonna make all the difference in the world necessarily. This isn't the end of everything. Resources collected a little bit higher for Nutty, but I don't think it's gonna be, you know, I don't think it's gonna spell the end for everything. X is Group H 1300-ish elo. I'm pretty sure I remember you saying something about that in the Discord. I'm gonna wait for you to verify that before I say anything and make myself look stupid. So this is really going to come down to micro and upgrades. Div F is okay. Div F is wait. FGH. What is this going to be, like 1100? That is 1159. Okay, so it's like, okay, cool. So 1150, give or take. I'm imagining is what these guys are in, because I do know that a little bit of a hitch in capture age. I do know that especially in like the bottom 5 or 6 bracket divisions, that the elo range is like super tight. Like my elo range is something like 60. It's like 1000 to 1064. So the elo window is super tight. So these guys are right up next to each other in elo range for ranked, at least. So cool. I'm really excited about this. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. And it seems like these guys both have their game plan. They both know what they're doing. And now Forteraiger has... How in the world... Wait, how did he catch... That's how. I need to stop, like, acting confused. Like, how did he catch up on Vills? Well, if you look over here... duh. It's because he made villagers when his opponent wasn't making villagers. Anyway, okay, moving on from that. 12 galleys here for Forteraiger and 13 for Nutty. 14 for Nutty. With more still on the way from Forteraiger. You know what? Okay, so what I said earlier was it's going to be a micro game. And maybe that's true to some extent, but I think it might just be like economy. I mean, with equal numbers, with the exact same boats, micro is the only way to win any fights like that. And you've got to have your upgrades too. Nutty. I think the double dock production is starting to show a little bit, but now Forteraiger's on 3 docks. 4? No, 3. So Forteraiger's on 3 docks, and Nutty's going to click up to Castle Age when Forteraiger is nowhere near it. What in the world? Okay, so he's got wheelbarrow, and I mean, what else? What does he have that costs so much food? Has he just not been on food? I guess he's just not been on food, and Nutty's been holding it for longer. Forteraiger's trying to catch up in the galley numbers, but now Nutty's on 3 docks as well, soon to be 4. So Forteraiger does have 16. So he has passed Nutty in galley numbers, and he's going to keep making villagers, but Nutty's going to hit Castle Age. He's going to be able to get War Galleon, or Galleon. And this fight's going to be a lot different. It's going to be a lot more difficult, especially because Nutty's probably going to be picking up Bodkin Arrow immediately. He actually goes in for a fight. I mean, if Forteraiger fights this, he doesn't know that Castle Age is coming in for Nutty, but I would say if he sees once he sees Castle Age hit, I would say take the fight. Okay, so he's patrolling forward. There was a discussion about this in the Discord. Oh my goodness. And because of it, Nutty's boats are gonna get obliterated. Oh no. Okay, so there was discussion about this. I don't actually remember. I don't remember what the ruling is. I'm not familiar enough with that to know how to judge that. But we're just casting the game however it goes. So Nutty's fleet. Okay, allowed for range units. Thank you for the clarification, X, because I really wasn't sure. I didn't want to say that's illegal. It looks so bad. I mean, it looks so good, really, at the end of the day. So allowed for range units means Forteraiger is going to be able to use this patrol forward technique, which basically just lets your units ignore their pathing that's coded into the game and micro forward. That's exactly what he needed to do. Forteraiger now really needs to click up to the Castle Age because Bodkin Arrow's in and more war galleys are going to come in for Nutty. And these will crush given the numbers. But with that fight, he sees Castle Age come in for Nutty, and he's like, okay, I got to take the fight now because all these upgrades are about to hit for all of his ships, and they've got even numbers, which means I'm going to lose. But Forteraiger is going to click up, and once Castle Age hits, they're both going to be on War Galley. But Nutty knows. He knows he's not in. He knows he's got the advantage here. Okay, so it's a like ballista shot arrow thing plus the additional arrow. And Forteraiger is just going to take this fight. He's got 16 of his galleys versus 6 now of Nutty's war galleys. And oh my goodness. This patrolling forward is just... it's insane. So for anyone watching this on YouTube, basically the reason this is super strong, if it's not blatantly obvious, the reason this is super strong is that if you have 15 units like Nutty does, and you say, okay, go attack this galley, they're all going to go up, and then once they get in range, they're going to start to kind of spread out like you see them do to be able to get into range to attack it. They're going to path around themselves to be able to kind of spread out and find a spot where they can shoot the target. But if you're doing what Forteraiger is doing, all of your units are going to be able to path forward and stack onto one tile or one set of tiles perfectly in range. So it ignores all the time spent that your units spend trying to path around each other to get in range, which means his entire army is immediately engaging, whereas Nutty's is only engaging like half of it at first, and then bits and pieces of it begin to engage as he goes on. And honestly, with Nutty not using this strategy and Forteraiger knowing how to do it, honestly, at the end of the day, it may be that Nutty just doesn't realize how to. I don't know how to either. I honestly couldn't tell you if you asked me. I don't think I have that button bound. But after seeing that, I don't know what this is going to look like for Nutty. And you know what? I bet this is Forteraiger's map. I bet this is Forteraiger's map. No, it's not. Holy smokes. So this is Nutty's map. This is Nutty's map pick. And he is on a second TC. So I think at this point in the game, he wants... What do you do? If you know that your opponent's going to do this, then you know you will lose in fights. Greening going to come in for Forteraiger. We'll block this. He needs like drones. He needs something extra. Maybe he needs infantry. Dude, maybe he goes for the infantry play. It's equal ships. It's the same boats. But the problem is for Nutty, his are not stacking up and all firing at the exact same time immediately. Whereas Forteraiger's are. Forteraiger's actually moving his boat. He's trying to get his galley to block the projectiles from Nutty's ships, which is just, I mean, wow. Okay, so 15 units there. It looks like way less. I mean, now it doesn't, but Nutty's army's gone. Forteraiger's going to be able to sit back, get his economy upgrades, and boom, behind this. Or he is just going to say screw it, and he's going to keep making army. This is an option. This is definitely an option. Nutty's going to put a defensive castle down, which is going to make Forteraiger's unit not be able to get in front, get over to this town center. I'm going to be honest. I would like this to be like one tile back or 2 tiles back. I don't know if Forteraiger is going to even try to do this. It'd be hard to do it with 22 ships, but without murder holes, he'd actually be able to get under the town center, sorry, the castle there. But Nutty's gonna put the castle up. It's gonna go up immediately. And I don't know what the answer is for this. What do you do? And I'm honestly asking because I don't know. I'm not a I'm not a mastermind when it comes to naval combat in this game. So the castle is going to stop them from pushing anything down here. But the problem is anything that Nutty makes from this dock or any docks he puts down here can't get out unless he destroys the house, which really wouldn't be that difficult to do. He's going to go for Sicilian fleet, which gives the galley line more range, which Forteraiger does not have. So he's going to try to pick up Sicilian fleet. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. But Forteraiger can just move his units around the other side of the map. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. If he sees that he can just do this and he's clear to, I think he will. This could be bad for Nutty. Sicilian fleet is in. But he needs some like demos. He needs some heavy demos or something to be able to do some big damage. Oh no, the fire ships are in. They're in Nutty's economy. He's gonna have to pull his war galleys back, and now Forteraiger's gonna see that there's an opening there. Fortified church now from Nutty. This is a really smart move. I mean, just protect what you've got. Imperial Age though coming in for Forteraiger as well as ballistics. So we gotta check on his eco. He's still on 1 TC, but I mean, he knows, you know, there's not much need here. He's gonna go up to Imperial Age. He's in his opponent's base. He's forcing him to make panicky decisions, forcing him to play defense. And Nutty being housed simply because all of the houses he made before were destroyed. He's having to make some more, being forced into that, and so this is rough. This is not good. The Sicilian fleet coming in clutch. More of his ships are going to be able to fire at the same time. Ballistics now going to come in for Nutty. But Forteraiger's just massing back here. 27 war galleys now, and Imperial Age is about 15 seconds away. He's going to pick up Galleon, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, what do they call it? Cannon. Oh. Wait, do they get Cannon Galleon? They don't get Elite Cannon Galleon, but do they get Cannon Galleon? They do get Galleon, and Galleon's going to be in about a minute. Again, I'd love to see, like, maybe the Drawman is an Imperial Age unit. I'm not actually sure. But I'd love to see that unit. It would deal a lot of splash damage, and it might be what he needs. Yeah, exactly. He might be... Oh, I see what you're saying. He gets Drawman instead of... I mean, he's get Drawman instead of Cannon Galleon. Well, GG's from Forteraiger. I mean, wow, really well played. Microing his weaker units to take down Nutty's fleet before it upgraded. And then just being able to sit back, mass the army, and make use of bigger numbers to win the game. Nutty sees that he doesn't have a way out here, goes ahead and calls it, and we're going to move on to Forteraiger's map here. Okay, game one going to Forteraiger, really well played. GG's, guys. Good grief. Okay, I got to drink some water. 1 second, loading up the second map. Okay, let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the AoE Leagues Season 15 group stage. We're looking at Group H here, the second game in this Play L2 set between Nutty here in the yellow playing as the Ketons and Forteraiger in the blue playing as the Malians. We are on Kilimanjaro for game 2, and this is Nutty's pick. Okay, so Forteraiger actually playing on Mangrove Pass. Oh crap, I forgot the name of the map. The map where it's basically, I'm ruining this. The point is that it's essentially Amazon tunnel, but instead of ground, it's water through the middle. So Forteraiger using some really nice micro to just get a unit lead, and keeping the unit lead pushed Nutty into a GG. And so now we're on Forteraiger's map on Kilimanjaro. This is kind of an Arabia-like. Thin wood lines with a big mountain in the middle, hence the name, with some resources up on top. So it's kind of a neat one. All the resources are kind of spread out back here for both players, and it's not very wallable. So it really incentivizes getting map control. And then obviously this is a super, super tall hill. So any castle here or here or here, like anything on the hill is going to give you an advantage pointing for what it's shooting down the hill, right? So, or any units you have. So taking map control on this map is pretty much key. I really like this map. I'm a big fan of this one. This is super, it's open. It's similar to maps we all know, like Arabia, but it definitely forces a lot more adaptation because it's not as wallable. You can't just play, you know, Castle Age Arabia or Arabia Arena, as I like to call it. You have to spread out, and you have to take some positions. And even if you don't take the top of the map, you kind of have to spread out here because there's the only wood is out here or up on the mountain. Which, you know what? Okay, so the baobab tree actually does have 200 wood, whereas the acacia trees down here at the bottom only have 150. So the wood up on the hill does provide you some more per tree, but obviously, unless you have map control and you've got some stuff up here, it's not like you want to send villagers directly to these trees to mine them because they're on a hill and it's forward, it's in the middle of the map. So yeah, it's just sketchy situation unless you're playing it well and you get your base set up well, and you get your position taken. So both gonna go for some hunt here. Sorry, Forteraiger gonna go for some hunt. It's interesting to see how these guys adapt to maps that they're not playing on. Okay, see, now I feel like it's not loud enough. I'm just gonna adjust it to here. We're gonna call it good. It's cool to see these guys adjust to the map picks. And even though we know that this is Forteraiger's map pick, watching them and just trying to judge off of what they do and the decisions they make, trying to see from that whether they have a game plan for that map, right? Because I'm going to be honest, I think for the last game, I think Forteraiger practiced that map. I think there's absolutely no way he didn't practice that. I think if he spawned in and he sees what the map is without having looked at it before, he's going to be like, what the heck? And there's always a chance that he sees that it's water. He's going to be like, okay, creates his game plan. You know, I'm not discounting that being a possibility, but it was very clear that I think to me it was very clear that he knew what he was doing. He had seen the map, he looked at it, he'd studied it, and so it's going to be cool to see if Nutty's kind of done the same thing. Obviously, whether or not he pushes hunt doesn't mean that he hasn't studied the map. Kilimanjaro isn't that wild of a map. It's pretty standard, and he is pushing hunt. Isn't that wild of a map. Oh no, Forteraiger scout walks into the town center. Nutty's not going to be caught sleeping there. He's going to kill that scout immediately. So Forteraiger maybe having some extra confidence going into this game, right? He just crushed his opponent on their map. He's thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna come in here on Kilimanjaro. I'm gonna have a distinct advantage because I play this map all the time, or I know it, or I'm comfortable with it. And maybe he does have a game plan, but I'm sure the game plan does not include losing your scout. So both gonna take some hunt. Both gonna be on their way up to Castle Age. Gonna get there just about the same time. And Nutty already has a barracks out, but I'm not seeing militia. Excuse me. As well as a barracks here for Forteraiger, but I'm not seeing militia coming out of this, so I'm expecting us to see the scout opening, which isn't surprising from the Ketons. So the Ketons, real quick, we're gonna go through these civs. The Ketons get the pastures. They're really good farms. 2 villagers per farm, essentially. They're bigger, more food. They had to nerf them. They're still really strong. It's lots of food income is the point. And then we're gonna see a stable. He didn't have enough wood for it, so I'm an idiot. They get double melee attack upgrades. Okay, so the blacksmith normally has 3. There's just 2 here. That's how they balanced it. Typically, you go 1 + 1 and then +2 for the third one for a blast furnace. But for the Ketons, they actually start by getting +2 on forged blades, on forging. Forged blades is a upgrade you can get in Battle for Middle-earth, a Lord of the Rings RTS I used to play. That's hilarious. Makes me want to play that game, actually. Yeah, forging from the Ketons gives your scouts +2 attack. So in the Feudal Age, you can have a unit that deals 7 damage, and it's on a horse, and it only costs food. It's really strong. It's really, really, really strong. So if he gets a blacksmith out, these scouts are going to potentially be able to deal a lot of damage to Forteraiger's economy early. They do get heavy cab archer in Castle Age, and it's heavily discounted. And then scouts and trash units are all trained a little bit faster for the Ketons. That's just about it that's important right now for the Ketons. The Malians, they get the Gebeto. We're going to keep an eye on what's going on here as we kind of go through this tech tree real quick, but the Gebeto are a ranged melee unit, and I'm a huge fan of this unit. I think they're super cool, and I think they're the potential for them to be really strong in like a fast castle Gebeto commitment kind of style is really neat. I think the possibility for that is super cool. Nutty, though, just going to play smart, and I say play smart. He's going to play passive. He's going to just scout out here with his scouts, and excuse me, and just do some scouting with the scouts, and they're going to kind of gather over here, maybe to make their game plan. As Forteraiger goes for the archers and a blacksmith as well. Blacksmith is going to come in for Nutty here as well. Maybe that's probably why he's not attacking yet. I bet he wants to wait for foraging to come in, and I imagine we're going to see that upgrade be clicked on here pretty soon, as he's definitely clicking on it right now. Yep. So foraging is going to come in, and 5, 6 scouts, 7. That's going to hurt. If he can get them in, that's going to really hurt. Now, let's hope there's not a hole here for Forteraiger, because that's also going to be really painful to see. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, so the pikes can come in to help out. The archers don't have fletching yet. They don't have armor. Oh man, no armor on the scouts, but still, they're going to deal a lot of damage to these. Actually, this is well played for Forteraiger. Well, okay. I mean, 1 scout down. And yeah, that's just unfortunate timing. He deploys the scouts, the archers in front instead of behind. So they're going to get found out by the scouts. And now Forteraiger's army that he was going to move forward with is gone. And Nutty still has 4 scouts here with their blacksmith upgrades. But they're pretty weak from the archers. So the villagers are going to be able to fight back and kill them pretty easily. It's not going to be much of a threat. Even though Forteraiger loses his archers there, he's not going to lose any villagers to these scouts yet. It's double scouts from Nutty, so he's committed here. And oh my gosh, it's 22 on. Okay, he's hunting. I was like, well, this isn't 22 vills. But I mean, the food income from these pastures is very impressive. They have a lot of food in them. So he's going to be able to keep up this double scout production if he wants to. 4 more scouts are ready to move out if he wants. Even villagers so far. And Archer's going to continue to be made for Forteraiger. Okay, so you don't typically, at least archers are not something you're going to go for late game with the Malians. They're not necessarily an archer civ. They do get arbalest, but they don't get bracer. The villagers drop off 10% more gold, which is really neat. And then honestly, for the rest of the units for the Malians, they have extremely strong late game champions. Okay, so the pikemen here are going to be helpful, but the scouts, if Forteraiger doesn't see this, he's going to take a lot of damage from this. Nutty's scouts are going to just crush what was there without losing more than one. X so hard to move with archers on this map if you're not full walled. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, if you're not full walled, you can take so much damage so easily. It's really easy to overchop, and it looks like Nutty's doing a good job of kind of putting houses in front of the trees, actually, just to make sure he doesn't overchop there. But the Malians, they get a lot of pierced armor on their barracks units, and then the Cav, do they get Hussar? No, they don't. But their camels, Cavalier, I mean, even their light cav are very strong in late game because they get Farimba, which gives them +5 attack. And honestly, I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Forteraiger goes for camels here in the Castle Age. But it's kind of an awkward matchup. I mean, Nutty's in with these scouts. He's gonna find some. Really well played from Forteraiger, getting a house there, filling in the hole. Man, I gotta give it to Forteraiger here. He's playing this really well, playing very calm, keeping his cool, and not taking much damage at all. Actually, no villager kills from these scouts from Nutty. Nutty, who is now on 600 wood, overcompensating a little bit. He's gonna put a couple pastures down. And he's not full walled, but I mean, he doesn't need it. He's going to make skirms now. He's got the scout production still coming. He actually commits back to the scouts instead of idling to try to get up to Castle Age, which he might regret doing once he sees Castle Age come in here for Forteraiger. He's going to be able to get up to crossbow. But these guys... Sheesh. I mean, that +2 is so strong here in Feudal Age. And now Skirm's gonna come in from Nutty. And Forteraiger probably gonna see this. Yeah, so he's gonna see the Skirms. And he's gonna think, okay, I've gotta come up with an alternative. He's gonna grab Bodkin Arrow. And Nutty's gonna go ahead and click up at the Castle Age here in 3, 2, 1. Now, in 3, 2, 1, click. Nutty's gonna click up to the Castle Age in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Nutty's gonna click up to the Castle Age, and he's gonna be pretty late to this, and Forteraiger's gonna see this, and he's gonna move out. If he's really paying attention here, I bet he knows because he's moving back. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to be late. I need to wait. And I need to wait. I need to hit Castle Age. I need my upgrades before I can engage this because Forteraiger, he's going to be good with this range unit micro. Even down the hill, these scouts are just going to stand not much of a chance. Blessing's going to come in for scouts, for the skirms. I don't hate this for Nutty, but you're totally right, X. Camel and archers, camel and crossbows is going to be very strong. Very, very strong here for Forteraiger. No way. He's lacking bloodlines. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Okay, so skirms, they do have fletching. And the Cav do have their armor upgrades. Oh, bloodlines from blue. My bad. I was looking at the wrong thing. Wait. Am I stupid? Does Nutty not have bloodlines? The Keytowns don't get bloodlines. Duh. I knew that. Okay. Anyway, he's gonna grab light cav and husbandry. You know what? That makes sense. That's totally balanced. That would be insane if they got bloodlines and all this other crap as well in feudal age. And the crossbowmen had their upgrades and they were very strong, but they did not have armor. So the skirms and scouts are gonna do the trick for Nutty. Nutty being able to afford only having 2 on gold and now 4 on gold. I'm wondering what his gold unit will be if he even ends up transferring to one. He's gonna be able to transfer one eventually. I don't hate knights. I don't hate knights at all, but I mean, this is a lot of skirms. This is a lot of skirms from Nutty, and he's in Castle Age now. He's gonna move forward and try to put a siege workshop down. The knights do have their armor. Forteraiger doing a really good job of picking up his blacksmith upgrades for the units that he's using and giving them a lot more value. But look at this. I mean, the knights have been massed. They're going to shred the scouts, and they're going to eat the skirms. They're going to eat the skirms if they push. Only fletching on these. They are doing 2+1 against 2+1 armor. So 1 damage. Nutty doing the right call, not trying to micro any damage here, just moving and getting out. Yeah, you're 100% right, X. He needs to micro these knights in front of the skirms to actually be able to do more damage, but he's going to pick off a few. He's going to kill the scouts, and now camels are going to come in. I didn't realize camel riders also have 100. These kind of little details, like actually looking at the HP of the units, something that I am only picking up now that I've done a lot of casting, and that like now that I'm doing more casting and stuff, I click on this unit and I look at, okay, it has 120 HP. Whoa, I've never actually noticed that before. But the Ketons get camels too. And honestly, I wouldn't hate skirms and like knights from Nutty. Sorry, skirms and monks. Forteraiger is gonna try to. He's gonna try to hit back. He's got massed up knights, and he's gonna try to do some raiding. And Nutty is dropping a town center here on the side of the map, but the villagers are exposed. Oh no, it's a lot of exposed villagers. He's not walled up, and the knights are gonna spread out and start eating villagers. Oh no. And Nutty has no option, no choice but to move back with the camels. He detaches, smart move. He's got to get back with the camels there, but this is a lot of villagers going down for Nutty. 8 so far. The knights, oh no, the knights attacking the pasture instead of the villagers. They're going to stop killing the villagers, and the camels are going to catch up to them and bring them down pretty easily. That's unfortunate. He must have clicked on the pasture instead. Yeah, I don't hate that either. I think heavy CA from Castle, heavy Cav Archer in Castle Age would be insane at this point in the game. That would completely surprise Forteraiger. He would have to commit completely to Camel Archer or Camel Rider. In Castle Age, Castle Age camels versus heavy CA. I don't know how that looks. It's triple range from Nutty. He's got what it takes. What does that upgrade cost? There's also Parthian Tactics and Thumb Ring. Heavy Cavalry Archery costs only 450 food and 250 gold. He could sell to that and buy it right now. He could sell to that and buy it right this instant. He's getting iron casting for his camels, but he could sell and buy heavy CA right now and make the transition. He doesn't have the gold to produce it, so getting the technology first and then making the units isn't exactly the best. But he could get it. He could totally do it. I don't see it happening in Castle Age at this point. It doesn't look like he's gonna go for that. But he's gonna see monks now from Forteraiger, and he's gonna think, okay, Forteraiger's definitely thinking of this in terms of long. He wants to. I mean, look at this. He's gonna be close to clicking up to. He's gonna be close to clicking up to Imperial Age here pretty soon. This is a big fight. This is a big fight, and it's a lot of camels and knights, but blue has camels too, and the camels are gonna go down, and that's okay. I say that. Most of the camels, yeah, okay. So the camels from yellow are gonna go down. Forteraiger's gonna take the fight against the gold units, and Nutty's gonna get out with his skirmishers, which he's not making it anymore, right? He realizes this is not the unit that's going to contribute here. Forteraiger, actually, I thought he was gonna put a university down and go for the 2 building click up to Imp. That would be an insane move. If he got Imp and then maybe like Cavalier, that would be ridiculous. Cavalier and Arb? How insane would that be? Yeah, 100% agreed. I think Forteraiger's now in a really good spot. After he started going for knights, he did a good job massing them up, transitioning into the camels, and now Nutty doesn't really have an answer other than just making the same unit. I mean, does he go for pikemen? The Viscount's been pretty even all game, and I think Nutty got up to a second TC faster than Forteraiger did, but Blue's on 3 now. So Blue's gonna be able to take off, and I mean, look at this. He has enough. He has enough to click up to Imp here. But he's got some Vills on stone, and yep. Okay, so he's gonna go for the University Monastery, click up to Imp. I love this. I love this from him. I love this from Forteraiger. Once he does this, he could get Farimba, and honestly, I think it would be over. Nutty needs a. You're totally right. He has enough, and he needs a castle, ideally up here. But Forteraiger has the army and the mobility. And what a strong economy behind this. He's picking up all of his E upgrades, except for horse collar, or except for heavy plow. Thumb ring now. Okay, wait a second. Oh, wait a second. Thumb ring from Nutty. I think this is the answer. I think Forteraiger wins this game with what he has, especially once he hits Imperial Age. He could get Farimba. He could go for Arb. He has so many different options as the Malians to just crush what Nutty has. But Nutty picks up Thumb ring, and now I'm curious if he's going to click on Heavy Cav Archer. It's adding a stable, putting the castle down. Why Thumb ring? Thumb ring might be for skirm only. Sadly is right. I don't know if I like that for just the skirms. I mean, you have heavy CA, and nobody's fighting. You've had so much time. But Forteraiger's knights are out of position. Oh my, Forteraiger's knights are out of position, and the camel riders from Nutty are going to be able to come in. He has iron casting, so he has +4 on these camels. That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. He's going to see Imperial Age come in now as he gets the armor upgrade for these camels. Yeah, he's trying to stay camel, but this is such an insane army from Forteraiger. But Nutty trying to get map control? I mean, this is just so much cav. The skirms, though, I gotta question it. They're contributing not very much. But the problem is for Forteraiger, He only has forging, and iron casting from Nutty is contributing double what it would be. And oh my gosh, Forteraiger's army goes down completely. Oh my goodness. Holy smokes, everything dies from Forteraiger. Somehow Nutty wins that fight. I literally think I'm attributing that completely to the fact that he's iron casting, which gives his units +4. The camel is dealing so much damage there, and he loses the fight. Sorry, he wins the fight, but now Forteraiger gets the castle up. Yeah, the knights definitely, it was too many knights, and I think they lost a lot of health there, going out of position here under the castle. It was really well noticed there from Nutty. But now Forteraiger has control of the mountain. He's got some gold. There's just no mining camp, though. And Lemelar armor, I have no idea what that does. Infantry and skirmishers reflect 25% melee damage back to the attacker. Are we? So more skirms. More skirms being made. Still no CA. I love CA. Camel CA, I feel like dominates from Nutty. No? Especially if he had gotten it earlier and started massing them up. That would force Forteraiger into a complete tech swap into skirms and camels. But Nutty not opting for that. He's gonna go for Imperial Age. And somehow has the villager lead now. Really well done. I mean, Nutty... Oh, no, you're right. Step Lancers mixing in. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Step Lancers and Cav Archers would have been insane. Khitan's Step Lancers are just... Well, they're nutty. To be perfectly honest with you, they're nutty. Gebetto now. For Forteraiger, and he does pick up for Imba. See, at this point in the game, I don't know if I like what Nutty's doing. I don't hate it. I didn't like it very much, but I don't hate it until Forteraiger hits Imp and picks up Farimba. Farimba is the reason Nutty was able to win that fight with fewer numbers is because his Cav had the armor upgrade and they were dealing 2 more damage. They were doing way more damage than Blue's mounted units, Camels and Knights. But now, there's no more melee upgrades to be gotten for Yellow. And Blue's Camel Riders are doing 14. Yellow's 10, soon to be 11, I'm sure. And now it's 2 castles up top. Conscription's going to come in. And I didn't see this. Oh, this is huge. This is really well played. Light Cav with those upgrades are brutal. They're going to be so good for raiding. Khitans do get Hussar. You know what? That could be the answer. I think Nutty honestly dies here unless he can keep up some, if he can get Hussar and go for raiding, the consistent raiding in Blue's base. Blue's not on stone, which is stupid to say because he has 2 castles up here. He doesn't really need to, but he kind of needs a castle back here. And yeah, Nutty's going to go for more raids with these scouts, but Forteraiger's in position with his camels, and Nutty's just going to commit. He's going to go for the raids. He's going to go for the distraction, and he almost has a 30. He's got a 20 villager lead now. A really pretty base, but the gold's only going to last so long. I mean, Nutty has... I don't know. Why did I select that like that? He has gold there. He has stone there. And... that's it. Is that it? I think he's trying to find gold. And the fight's happening. Forteraiger has the Gebetto, which are just going to be so huge for this fight. They're going to be brutal on the camels. Oh my gosh, one-shotting per volley. And now it's 4 trebuchets shooting down Yellow's castle. Bracer now? Bracer for the skirms? For the 15 skirms you had? Yeah, you're exactly right. But Lao Dao now from yellow raiding, I don't hate that, but I would have liked to see it 20 minutes ago, you know? That's true. Bracers. I mean, bracers necessary. You're totally right. Bracers necessary for the castle. You need it. But the skirms are now all gone, and no more ranged production for Nutty. And it's mostly scouts. Now Cav Archer's going to come in. I really like Cav Archer here. I still really like it. Chemistry's in on these things. They're going to drop buildings like crazy. And I like Cav Archer, but a little bit earlier. A little bit earlier would have been needed. The light Cav are just cannon fodder. And all Forteraiger has to do at this point in the game is keep up some RB production. Oh, the town center actually went down to the Liao Dao from Nutty. Yeah, I get that. That's definitely they don't get bloodlines, so like late game they're weak. I definitely get that. They die to camels pretty quickly, I bet. Especially Farimba heavy camel rider. Yeah, I mean, I say that. They might have been the move. I think they probably were the move in Castle Age. But not having the health and going up against Malian camels, it's just brutal. Town Center's going to go down. Forteraiger. Wow. Forteraiger playing out of his boots this series. I'm going to be honest. And then he doesn't want to lose this second game. He's going to reach for this. But it's 22 camels, and he's going to call the GG. Somehow 115 scouts made there at the very end of the game. Wow, really well played from Forteraiger. That was a great series. Nutty, that game was a lot of fun. That was super back and forth. That's like the Blue Dares make skirm, you add 2 stat. Yeah, exactly. If you force skirm, see, that's why I love that so much. If you force the skirm play from your opponent, and it makes them go into skirms, and then you have some of the best stat places in the game. You just push up with those. At least at that point in the game, they're really really strong early, you know. But Nutty tried to commit to the camels and the skirms, and it looked really good early. But then Forteraiger, honestly, being able to take the hill, take the mountain, and get the gold control and continue production of those super heavy hitting units, just spelled the end. Honestly, for Nutty, that was all he needed to do. It's the map control is so crucial on this map. You've got to take the middle because otherwise you run out of gold really quickly. And speaking of which, 490 gold in the map. It's all right here. It's basically all right here. So your gold goes out real quick. And then it's all up here, and there's not a ton. It's funny how most of the new civs have this big Castle Age power spikes. It makes them different to play than most of the civs. Yeah. And that's cool. I think they did a good job hurting the Ketons, but I do think that late game, they're like, I mean, look at this. Imperial Age, the Malians just, everything they have dominates. You can get that damage out early. That's different, but I think really well played there from Forteraiger. He walls up and he gets his unit out. He commits to it. He also had picked up 4 relics. I didn't notice that. So he also had the gold production from those. Yeah, GG's, guys. That was a great set. Game 2 goes to Forteraiger. He's going to get 3 points for that set. And well played. Well played. Okay. Woo.